Hi, welcome back to our series called Where to Turn. My name is Brent Morris, and I'm at Catholic Charities of Kansas City and St. Joseph. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Normally, we have the smart board and we go over slides and we talk about things. Last week, we did something a little bit different as well. We had a discussion with two folks from the Mazuma Credit Union about whether a credit union is good for you. If you still wonder about that, that is posted on our website, and hopefully you can access that. Today, we're just going to have a conversation, just a conversation between me and you about uh, how to keep a job. We talked to people this week about, I talked to someone just this week who says she gets a lot of jobs, but has trouble keeping them. After 6 months or a year, she loses her job for whatever reason. And you might have this same situation come up. And there's a couple of reasons for that that we'll talk about. As I said earlier, this is a continuing series we have called Where to Turn. We've been doing this since August of 2020, and it's started as a result of pandemic job losses and whether people might have lost a job or even had their hours reduced, and they might be looking at something different. And I would encourage you again to go back and look at the different videos that we've done previous to this. But today, as I said, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, just a conversation. So let's talk about once you get a job, how do you keep a job? The first thing to keeping a job, the most important thing to keeping a job is to show up every day on time. Now, this seems like a basic thing. This seems like something that anyone would know. And we can know it, but do we really practice it? That's the big part. Employers tell us all the time what they really need is someone's availability. They can help someone gain skills, they can help someone refine skills, they can even deal with mistakes, but it's the availability that is the biggest issue that people have. Now, having said that, we understand that things come up sometimes. Sometimes you have um, childcare issues. Sometimes your car breaks down. Sometimes you're on the bus and the bus is running late. And there's really nothing you can do about that. But anytime that happens, then the first thing to do is to call somebody, to call uh, your boss, your supervisor, and let them know what's going on. Uh, Even if you don't know how late you're going to be, at least then they know that you're making an effort to get there. If this is a consistent problem, you may need to figure out a different system for getting to work. If the bus is consistently getting you there, I apologize for that ringing phone. The bus is consistently getting you there 10 minutes late, then you have to either figure out how you can take an earlier bus, or if there's not an earlier bus, is there someone else that could take you? That sort of thing becomes uh, very important when you're talking about retaining a job. So the first one is real basic, and that is to get to the job on time every day. Now, let me back up just a little bit and talk about what on time means. If you have a job that starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and you have to get into some sort of equipment or you have to get into a uniform, then getting there right at 8 o'clock is not really the time to get there, because at 8 o'clock, if it takes you a few minutes to get into your uniform, then you can't start the job at 8. So your job starts at 8, but takes you 10 minutes to get your equipment on. Really, 10 till 8 is when you need to be there if you can, because that means at 8 o'clock you're ready to go. You have your employer gets the full time, whether it's 8 hours or however long your shift is, from you. And that's really just a respect thing for your employer. All right, the second thing is to remember that even if you think you should be getting more money, right after you get hired is not the time to look into that. You agreed to a certain pay when you took the job, or you knew what the pay was, whether you didn't agree to it, but you thought it should be more or whatever, you took the job. So work for a while before you start looking for more pay, before you start talking about more pay. Get some time in so that they can trust you. They can say, we can rely on this person because they're here every day on time, as we talked about the first thing. It's the sort of thing that can keep Okay, that's the third thing, is that you're going to have lots of attitudes. Now, when we get an attitude from somebody else, we need to be in control of our response to it. We all have hot buttons. We all have things that bother us about other people, and the way they interact with us, the way they come to us. And a lot of people have lost jobs they really shouldn't have because of their reaction to how somebody else came at them, how somebody else spoke to them. Remember, you're in control of your emotions. You're in control of what you say and how you respond to anything that comes your way. If it's not physical, if someone attacks you physically, that's a whole different thing. And you need to defend yourself. Everyone totally understands that. But if someone's just speaking to you in a way that you don't like, there are ways to respond to it that are appropriate in any situation. And one of those ways is to just say, without being aggressive, I don't think you're communicating with me in an appropriate way. Now, you might not use the terminology depending on the situation. I get that, but to address it in a calm manner. One of the problems is sometimes, depending on your personality, you have a hard time saying it in a calm manner because you feel attacked and you want to aggressively respond to that. You want to keep your job.